Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Ones Tarot. My name's Carmen. Today we have a reading for you about somebody who I feel is kind of in like, I don't know, the life of luxury or on vacation or just chilling. And they feel like it's left to them. They have to stand up, they have to say something, they have to maybe start an argument or finish an argument. But I feel like there's this reluctance and sense of duty and like a sigh of relief or final just, or like a sigh of, I guess I have to kind of thing. But I feel like this person doesn't necessarily know what they're doing, or they feel like the resolution to this problem is easier than it actually is. So it could be a little bit of a rude awakening for them. They may be kind of judging someone else for not being able to fix a problem, and they're going to find it's more complicated than they thought. Hello there, Peggy. How are we doing? Happy Friday. I love it. Let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. Just the one, just the one. I hope you're having a lovely day. If you're watching this on Black Friday, I hope you got your shopping done. I hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving. I hope you got to take home some pie. If you want a personal reading from me yesterday, please make sure you have emailed me what you are looking to get from that personal reading. That includes you moderators. I told you got a free question, so you better send that to me, Peggy. All right. Otherwise, thank you again for 3 years. I am delighted that you all think that it's worth watching me. All right, this is the Energy Oracle. Hello there, Grant. How are you? That's perfect. I love that. I'll take that. All right, so we've got the second chakra, Archangel Ariel, which is number 36. And number 4, which is happy family. So this is probably a family conflict, or this is an issue that affects a families. But we have some level of protection here, something that is maybe making things even a little bit difficult for this emperor. I feel like this is somebody who has to learn a lesson that this thing that they're trying to fix is not as basic as they think it is. This is the Rider-Waite. What else do we have? Page of Cups in the reverse. 6 of Cups. I feel like this has to do with a child who is unhappy, a child who is depressed, misbehaving perhaps. And people have tried to understand what's going on or at least try to fix it. That could be part of the issue. We could have individuals that feel like they know exactly what's going on, but they really don't. So this Emperor energy is feeling more like a parent energy or a family, like a grandfather, grandmother. This, though, is like several attempts that I feel people have made to try to get through to this child and figure out what's going on. It could be more than one child. Hello, Johnny. How are we doing today? Hello, Mark. I hope you're having a good Friday. So we have the 7 of Wands, Ace of Cups in the reverse, 8 of Wands. There's somebody here who I don't feel is the Emperor, who is very protective of this child or these children because there's an awareness that there's been something really difficult that has happened recently. This could be, for example, the loss of a family pet. This could be, for example, moving at a really, like for somebody's senior year in high school. There is a sadness here, and it's evident that that sadness is probably leading to this change in behavior, but it feels more complicated than that. So this individual is feeling restless. They're trying to figure out what they can do to help this child of theirs. Four of Pentacles, Judgment in the reverse, and Four of Swords in the reverse. This is like misdiagnosing. You have cold, so we're going to give you cold medicine. Why isn't the cold medicine working? You still have a cold. People have tried things, and all of it comes back with, nope, still not working. I don't know if there's just like a willful ignorance of the things that generally help if somebody is going through a grieving period, or if somebody, maybe there's been a divorce. It feels to me like therapy would be the right choice. I don't know if that's something that's been attempted, but it could be it's the wrong type of therapy, or it could be that the therapist is not the right fit, right? But we have somebody that is struggling to figure out how to help the family dynamic get back to where it was, or get back to happiness. I kind of feel like this opposing force to the Emperor, somebody who's being very defensive, and this Emperor is like, well, I'll fix it right away. You clearly don't know what you're doing. There's something here about the Emperor being a little bit blind. They don't see what's really going on. They want to simplify whatever the situation is. And this High Priestess energy, whoever's been really defensive, they see exactly what's going on. They know it's more complicated. That's why they're trying to do more of like an investigative approach or a scientific approach. What do other people do in this situation? Because it's not just as simple as what kind of prescriptions you got back there, doc. Nope, that's not going to fix it. And this High Priestess knows. All right, let's see. This is the situations deck. What else do we have? So we could get like the children card or the inner circle family card. You could get that threatened card, because it does feel like somebody is feeling kind of like cornered, or like nobody understands what they're going through. This could be an issue regarding the internet. So someone could be dealing with some bullying, or maybe seeking to escape from their issues by spending a lot of time on the internet. Maybe playing video games, that kind of thing, social media. But there's something concerning. It's like the behavior has escalated to some degree here. I feel like this High Priestess is concerned that so we have the Nine of Wands. That's a wounded warrior. Yeah, they feel like they have to take drastic measures because there's a problem here. So it could be that this High Priestess is considering other individuals, other therapists, perhaps, other sources, maybe, bringing in the other members of the family. But this could be, after a divorce, a child refusing to speak to the parent they blame. Because we have the drastic card, which says extreme harsh cutoff. And it's the single card. So it kind of feels to me like this is somebody really mad at a parent because they have divorced or left, or maybe done something not so nice to the other parent. Waves, emotions coming and going. Lockdown, mental prison, confined, which is in the reverse. Oh no, where'd you go? Oh, there you go. Triggers, name, car, place. And the pressure cooker card. Ugh. So I do feel like there is like a deadline, or perhaps this is an event. Maybe you're worried about a holiday get together. Maybe you're worried about a birthday. But there's something here where you're worried about how things are going to go on a particular date, especially if the child or the children in question are in any way kind of frustrated or triggered by something in the environment, something that, maybe if you're going to visit somebody's house, you're like, oh, what's that picture over there? This is a concern, I think, about family interactions. All right, this is the Edgar Allan Poe. Hello, Jane Doe, how are you? What else do we have? Nine of Cups. Five of Cups in the reverse, and the Empress. Yeah. All right. I feel like this is a parent, possibly a sibling or even a grandparent, but I think probably more likely a parent that has abandoned in some way. I put that in quotation marks because we all view that word just a little bit differently. Someone could feel emotionally abandoned and still be receiving, child support or whatever it is. But we have somebody that feels like a parent has vacated or abandoned it looks like mother and child. If it is, let's keep in mind, gender-wise, this could also be somebody who abandoned a father and child. I don't have that imagery in this deck, but this very clearly says somebody doesn't really seem to care or feel bad about the fact that they have chosen something else over their responsibilities. This could be, I have my dream career, so I'm spending less time with my family. This could be, I've decided to divorce and pursue a new relationship. This could be somebody who has a little bit too much time partying and not enough time doing right by the children. This is a lack of, understanding that responsibility. It does feel like for a majority of the people that I'm reading for, this would be emotional, not necessarily financial, although obviously that could be the case as well. So we have Emperor in the reverse, Ace of Pentacles, Two of Cups. That's exactly what I was just saying. So this individual who has not really stepped up, they may feel like they've done right by what they need to do because they have sent money, or because they sent someone to a good school, or because they bought that child a car, or you have, like the best food you could possibly eat, whatever it is. But are you there? It feels like the child or the children here don't feel emotionally supported by one parent. And it's interesting because the Empress is right next to the Emperor in the reverse. And it's like the saddest Empress card that I have, which makes sense. It's Edgar Allan Poe, but this is money isn't enough, right? Eight of Wands in the reverse, Queen of Cups in the reverse, Two of Swords. It would appear that the opinion of this parent is you didn't take action, or you didn't communicate the way that I thought you would. Maybe you were emotionally unavailable. Maybe you didn't say supportive things or tell me that you loved me. And as a result, when I think about you, I don't really know how much you care about me. I don't know that I would say you love me unconditionally. And that's apparently at the core of what's going on with this family dynamic. I feel like the high priestess knows that, because money doesn't replace love, right? We had the Two of Cups. This is somebody who's like, well, here's this pentacle, here's this money. I didn't know you also needed a hug. Well, yeah, everybody needs a hug. Well, not everybody. Some people don't like hugs. That's why we ask people if that's what they would like before just forcing them into a hug, right, people? But this is somebody who could have offered a few more hugs. Five of Pentacles in the reverse, Nine of Swords in the reverse, and the Nine of Wands in the reverse. So this parent who has not really been around as much as they could have been, let me just put an asterisk on this. I don't have children. I don't have kids. I can't be telling anybody how to be a good parent, okay? So don't come at me about how you need to be a good parent, because I don't know that. All I know is that I have some pretty incredible parents who've been there for me in difficult times. They're not perfect because nobody's perfect. But from the children's perspective, or the child's perspective in question, they feel that one parent has not been there and the other one has defended them. The one who has not been there, they are, I think, cutting off. And there's pressure here for this child. Could be an adult child, right? Doesn't have to be someone who's 7. Is saying, I don't know. I don't think I really want to do anything. Why should I try to put forth effort into a relationship that didn't really seem to be very important to that individual? Why is it all of a sudden important? So there could be a little tug of war here in terms of other family members trying to get these 2 or these 3 or whatever to get back on speaking terms. This is the Black Tarot. What else do we have? Seven of Wands in the reverse. 5 of Swords in the reverse. So I haven't thought about this movie in a long time, and I don't really know what it was called, but I do remember there was a grief explored by a father who had been too wrapped up in his career to take seriously the responsibility he had to pick his daughter up after school, and then she went missing. I don't feel that's what's happened here, but there's somebody here who is trying to minimize or say it's not as big of a deal, something that happened that did put a child or children at risk. So this could be, you shouldn't drink around the children. They're at an impressionable age. Now they've gone out and started to party because they've been seeing you drink around the house, Oh, that's just because of their friends. Every kid gets into drinking. There's somebody here who wants to defend the lack of good example they've given, or the bad example that they've given to a child or children, trying to basically, deflect. Oh, that's not my responsibility. I don't know why you would think that was me. Justice in the reverse. 6 of Swords in the reverse. Judgment. I really do not like that combination. Look, I like I said, I am not a mother, but I really do love children. And so, like, I've got, niece, nephew, I've got friends that have kids that are adorable. And I feel like within a village or within a town, it's good to have people that want to be positive influences that don't have their own children that can help, right? But this is like somebody who just doesn't want to take seriously the responsibility that they have for this child, and they're unwilling to accept that their behavior or their nonchalance around that responsibility could actually have some serious consequences. And I don't like the fact that we have the tic-tac card. I don't like the fact that we have justice in the reverse and judgment. This is like somebody might learn a pretty difficult lesson, and that could be in the form of their child no longer talking to them, their child cutting them off and saying, I really don't see any reason why I should be communicating with somebody that doesn't take my safety seriously. This could be talking about an episode that happened when you were younger and whether or not somebody takes it seriously. And I'm sorry, when it's anybody's safety, but in particular children, we have to take that seriously, right? I mean, I was lucky enough to have a childhood that didn't have social media. We would stay out until the sun went down, riding bikes in the neighborhood and building forts in the trees, playing card dealership. And that was bliss, right? There's so much more that parents have to deal with nowadays. It's possible that this person who's writing in to save the day or who thinks they can solve an issue with prescriptions or money, they don't seem to understand that things have changed and that it's much more complicated growing up in an age that is online. It's just different. So this could be somebody who doesn't understand what bullying can really do to a person. This could be somebody who doesn't understand what a broken home could do to somebody. So this Emperor in the reverse is being called upon to, I guess, kind of access their emotions a little more freely and consider how somebody else might feel. 10 of Cups, Moon in the reverse, and the 3 of Cups in the reverse. This is somebody who's basically crying out, perhaps silently, for love, for a demonstration of, you actually care about me. And I don't know that that's what this Emperor in the reverse is really understanding. Some people feel much more comfortable angry than they do vulnerable. I don't understand that. I mean, sure, it can be fun to be angry, but you know what? Like, I think you miss out on so much when that's your go-to emotion. And that could be how this Emperor deals with things, right? Because we got a pressure cooker situation. This could be somebody who feels like they can solve the problem by yelling at somebody. Hey, just a quick poll for everyone. When you have been anxious or freaking out over something and somebody says to you, you should calm down, are you like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't think about that. I'm going to do that right now. Look at you. You have the best ideas. Hey, maybe we could think about some other things too, because you really did nail that one on the head. No, you can't yell a problem away most of the time. Could you maybe kick it down the street a little bit and then you have to deal with it later? Sure, but you might also make it worse. We have somebody here that is going to lose their temper. And it's not going to make the situation better. It's going to make the situation worse, especially if this is a bullying situation. That is not how you deal with it. We have the Fool. We have the King of Swords in the reverse. And the Magician. The High Priestess knows the right thing. The High Priestess knows how to approach this. Now, I feel like for the majority of you, this is the other parent, right, that has been there. For some of you, this could be like the aunt. This could be someone related to the Empress. But with the Magician, this is saying there are darker forces here than this person's willing to admit. There are people who have been really, I think, affecting the mental health of the child or children here, and you got to deal with that in the right way. Because that's important. All right, this is the Voyage of the Soul. Polarity and lessons, contrast, resistance, pull, yin and yang, and magnetic, and lessons, distress, dark night of the soul, loss, and experience. So because this child or these children have gone through this loss or this stress, they have this need for somebody to take care of them. They have this need to recover from that situation. They have a need to understand how to move forward. And with this polarity card, we have an emperor who's resistant to what actually needs to happen for that to improve. That could literally just be, I don't feel like holding myself accountable and apologizing to you for not being there when you needed me. So as a result, I'm just going to get mad and tell you, why don't you just get over it? It's not going to work. And I'll tell you what, if it did work, if that's all it took to resolve a problem, it wouldn't have gotten this bad to begin with. It is this bad because it requires more, okay? And this emperor doesn't really want to believe that things are serious. That's why it's riding in to save the day. Like, okay, I don't know if you really know how you're going to handle this. But it kind of seems like you're not. So we have chapters, light after darkness. I love that because we just had the dark night of the soul. So I do feel like this Empress, High Priestess energy, or energies if it's two people, do know how to usher in this light after the darkness. They know the right path. They know what needs to happen. And it could be a matter of having a conversation between these two and realizing, if the emperor can do it, you're right. That's the right way to do this. I out of my depths. I don't know how to do this. Yeah. So for some of you, the message here is the Empress or the High Priestess energy may need to stand up for themselves more vociferously. There it is. And say, I'm putting my foot down. You might be real smart when it comes to business. You might be real smart when it comes to taxes or law or whatever it is. But when it comes to these children or when it comes to my child, I'm going to tell you right now, you're wrong. Maybe that's not the right way to phrase it, but I'm going to tell you right now that we need to have a softer approach, right? We need to deal with this in a way that is caring and not like haranguing, not yelling at somebody. And I do feel like at some point this emperor is going to understand that wisdom, but it's going to take this Empress, High Priestess really putting their foot down and being like, hey, you listen to me. You sit down and you listen, because this is not your area of expertise. We can all agree on that. Don't be that mean. Don't be that mean. You're trying to get somebody to listen to you. So don't repeat what I just said. But it's like, come on. I'm not going to ask you to sew a quilt if your expertise is law, you know? Maybe I would do better at that. This is somebody who does know how to be there for their child or their children, saying this is the right path that we need to take. Could be therapy, and it could be that this emperor is like, but I don't wanna. And that's part of the problem, emperor. But you're going to find that your relationship is much more rewarding when you don't have guilt hanging over your shoulders. Because I feel like part of the resistance here is this emperor may struggle with the idea of talking about what has happened. But we have fate. And I feel like this is basically saying something happened to make this situation kind of blow up, to get the attention of this emperor. Are you going to do something, and are you going to do the right thing? All right, this is the Kipper. What else do we have? How's it going, Michael? Hello, Illuminati. Hello, Frederick. How we doing? It was a pretty good show, though. That and Love Connection. R.I.P. Chuck Woolery. Although he was probably kind of not the coolest dude, but I don't know, man. I watched a lot of Love Connection. It's just like randomly always on the TV. Number 37, poverty, and number 14, message of concern. This is, for me, the same kind of energy as this Empress card. There's kind of like a help, you know? We need to figure this out. This isn't going the way we want it to. Number 6, mature woman in the reverse. Mature man. And official person in the reverse. So there's someone that may have tried to convince you they were trustworthy when they were not. There could also be somebody that said they had a resolution to whatever this is, or could, you know, be a good therapist, and maybe they were just not a good fit, or they didn't know what they were talking about. There's a need for somebody to make a decision on a plan, and I feel like there's not great influences from either other family members or an expert that wasn't really an expert. This could be the Emperor, but I feel like for most of you that would be an outside party. It just feels like there's a lot of people that have opinions on something, and maybe they're all ignoring this High Priestess energy or this Empress. Like, they know what needs to happen. Everybody else is like, but what if? Hear me out. We have wealthy man in the reverse. Distant horizons in the reverse. So this is something that happens close to home. And I'm looking at that wealthy man in the reverse as another reference to loss. We also had the poverty card, so there could be some financial issues here. But we have somebody that feels like problems are something that happen far away, but there's a problem happening close to home or in the home. So this Emperor energy, they're blinded by something. They may think somebody is right when they're not. They may think somebody is being honest when they're not. But this High Priestess has a better read on the situation or the people involved. Hello there, Debbie. How are you doing? Concern in the reverse. And false person. That's exactly what I'm saying. There's somebody here that's saying this isn't a problem, or this isn't as big of a problem as you think it is, but either they don't know what they're talking about or they're lying. And I don't like either of those, really. Then why are you commenting on it? You know what I mean? All right. Actually, no, this is what's the news. If I could just ask one of you, I know, Peggy, you are amazing at this. Ooh, hello, Tracy. Could you put in the 1-800 number for those that are contemplating taking their own life? I try not to say things that are too depressing, but I also want to make sure that if these themes come up that you have access to those things. Thank you, Peggy. Because you matter and there's a place for you in this world. Even if some people don't understand it, others will. And we have somebody that is going through heavy emotions, somebody who's scared. Yep, just making sure there wasn't two R's. It could also be scarred. But we have a need to be comforted or to feel understood. And it's like talking to a brick wall with somebody here who just doesn't seem to understand that this is a problem or this is an issue. So we have the Fuego card. I'm taking the last one to be what it means because we also had that pressure cooker card. Things are heating up. I don't think this is necessarily about a teenage romance. It could be about that and needing to talk about the birds and the bees. But this is things are going to be a little bit more concerning in the near future, and needing to talk about those things is important. You could have a need to talk about drugs or alcohol with minors. We have a numbing card, self-medicating, addictions, and irrational behavior. I don't want anybody to be freaking out and thinking they do have that problem if they haven't already been having those suspicions, because we also have the irrational behavior called out on this card, and we've already been talking about noticing that this child or children, there's something different. They're not acting the same way, or their behavior is a little bit inconsistent. So we do have this wine and dine card as well. I do feel like this is about a parent, or maybe it could be a relationship that someone's sibling is having. I feel like this is a parent who is dating again after a divorce or a relationship breakdown. It could be that you have a problem with who they're dating. We do have some financial issues here. We have the penny pitching card, financial struggle, saving up, and budgeting. And then we also have harmony, peace, balance, and happiness. So I do think that there's something that could be related to a job that could really help provide an anchor for whoever is struggling with their mental health. If it's a child that is not of age to work, we will not be using that as a way to address this issue. But there's a confidence this person could benefit from when they have this stability worked out on their own. There could also be something about a hobby that could be monetized. You want to be careful with that, because hobbies are things that bring you joy. And sometimes if you monetize it, it might not bring you joy anymore. Hello there, Aqua Beauty. And this is saying there's a way to balance these things. There is a way for this person or these individuals to be happy again. And some of it could be also quite practical in terms of, we decided we wanted to save some money, so we're going to start a garden in the backyard, and then we'll have some vegetables all year round, or whatever it is. We decided to get a chicken coop because we want to make our own eggs. There's something here that will help reintroduce, or maybe even for the first time, introduce that level of harmony or peace for somebody if they're able to feel more in control over that. All right, this is the Fairy Lenormand. What else do we have? Hello, Bradley. How are you doing? Oh, no. We've got number 20, which is the garden, the community. Oh, no. Hold, please. I try to take too many cards. You guys know I'm all picky about how my cards look. Sometimes when I watch another person's tarot reading and they're just like throwing the cards down, I'm like, oh my God, wait, there's no, why are you putting them there? What? But now you can't see that one. It's okay. Everyone does it different. And then we have the mice. And this is a card that talks about loss. So look, I feel like this is multiple people that have felt the loss of something. But this is also saying the community is part of how the loss is like dealt with, mitigated. ameliorated. Such a cool word. There's a way to bring back this peace and harmony. For some of you, this could be finding an opportunity for your child to volunteer or work with animals, work with the elderly. There's something here about the community that helps address this sense of sadness or loneliness. So we have good news coming in, number 17, which is the stork, and number 29, which is the woman. So I feel like there's a message or an idea either thought of by this Empress or High Priestess energy, or somebody provides that idea to the Empress, High Priestess energy, and it kind of like snowballs in a really good way from there. This is the right path. And I feel like there's a little bit of an uphill climb trying to defend that this is the right thing to do. But it does feel like it's the right thing to do. For some of you, this is putting a child in a different educational system. For others of you, it's about what do they do in their free time? What kind of friends are they hanging out with? How much time are they spending on a device versus interacting with people face to face? But I feel like you're going to be able to address this. You just have to pay attention to that high priestess energy or that empress because they know what they're talking about. And this emperor, maybe not so much. Love you, but you don't. You're going to get there. I have faith in you, okay? Yay. All right. Hello there, Jennifer. How are you? Hello, Black Lamb. I hope you're having a good day. Oh, thank you. I think it's really important. There's not always somebody looking out for others. And sometimes friends forget to check up on our friends or family members. So I guess it's one of my biggest hopes that my channel can be one of those places for people. And I give a lot of credit to Peggy because she is almost always there to help me when I want to make sure that that number is easy to find. Tiana also helps a lot with that. Hello there, Diesel. How are you doing? Remember to love yourself. You're awesome. Get out there and enjoy the weekend. And I will see you on the next reading. Doodles.